In the last month, I've heard two contrasting stories about getting a church to pray. In the first one, the pastor recognized that his congregation needed to seriously pray for God to use them. And so he invited everyone who would meet him one weekday morning at the church building at 6:30 a.m. to come and pray with him. And it started really well. 9 people joined him, and this was good because these were all key leaders. But by the third week, people began to drop off. And the following week, it dwindled down to just the pastor and one other person. The second pastor told me about the church's challenge for renewal, and he asked them to stop and pray wherever they were at 6 p.m. one night a week, then text him to let him know that they were united in this focus. The text started to roll in. One evening when he and the leadership were dealing with a very important next step for the church, it seemed like everybody in the church was letting him know that they were praying that God's will would be done in this next step. And the flow of prayer has continued in this church. What makes a difference between these two contrasting stories is not that the congregation had different desires. Both of them wanted God to renew them as a church. It had to do with what I call fitting new things into the rhythm of people's lives. This is a systemic issue, that if we want to make something sustainable, we have to think about how it fits into the rhythms of people's lives as they live it. It's not just about prayer. You might be planning to initiate more Bible training, a new church outreach, or calling people together for an important meeting. Because people only have so much time to give out of their lives, disrupting their lives to add another event, to have them traveling back and forth from their house, will probably either be a non-starter for most of them or fail to be sustainable because people need margin in their lives to live. You may get your congregation out twice a year for something special, but the idea that you can ask people for a long-term commitment that is not time for when they're already able to be at the church building is planning for failure. However, if you ask them to commit extra time on a day they are already present, perhaps a Sunday morning or a Wednesday night, you'll probably see more people saying yes because it fits into the rhythms of their lives. Or you may see them willing to commit to something afar, like specific prayer times or training over the internet, if they don't have to find sitters and leave the home, disrupting the rhythms of their lives. Thinking about people's rhythm before you initiate even an important biblical function of the church is a sign that you respect their needs for time and other aspects of their lives. As their pastor, you want to help them to be a healthy church. They're called to be, rather than weighing them down with one more trip to the church and one more night committed to being at the church building. This is about sustainability of systems that make the church healthy. So keep this in mind as you plan your church life to keep within the rhythms of people's lives. If you like what you're hearing on this video, please hit the like button and share it with your friends.